Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2013 BMW X3 M Sport. Up front is a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this BMW X3 for a couple of reasons. First of all, I haven't been in this generation of X3 in quite some time, so I'm always excited to get back behind the wheel. But I also think that these are really quality purchases now 13 years later, and we'll be talking about why that is a little bit later on. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that straight 6 turbo under the hood. Well, that's known as the N55 engine from BMW and was put in a lot of other vehicles like this 135i, of which I have a comparison to this car with. In this car, it makes just over 300 horsepower at about 302 horsepower. And from what I've known, the N55 seems to be pretty reliable for what it is. It makes really good power. It sounds good. It has that great driving feel, because back in 2013, you could still get a lot of 6-cylinder SUVs, but they were certainly starting to move away from 6 cylinders. I really like how this engine moves around town, and we'll talk about that more here in a second. Like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is a ZF transmission. This car comes a little bit earlier in the ZF BMW relationship. However, it's still a very quality transmission, and I like the way that it feels. Last but not least, of course, the X3 is all-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the BMW X3 from 2013? Well, like I touched on with that engine, it has a really nice driving feel around town. That inline-6 power is definitely enough to just not make the vehicle feel gutless. It's really, really nice moving and driving around town. Is this going to be an absolute drag race superstar? Not quite. However, it just offers that nice premium experience. It's like when you buy an expensive sandwich and they use expensive bread. Some people might not see the point in it, but it's just that better experience. And that's what this car delivers, which I am so thankful for. Visibility is decent. It is an SUV, so of course it's going to have the standard SUV blind spots, and ride quality is nice. Overall, it's a good time. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 physical gauges. Off to the left is my fuel and speedometer, and off to the right is tachometer and oil temperature. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our cruise control settings, and off to the right, we have mode and volume, skip track, things like that. We also do get a little M badge at the bottom of the steering wheel because this is the M Sport. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent. We have our headlight switches as well as fog light and gauge dimmer switch, and a big cubby down below. And moving on to the door, we have the latch to get in and out, speaker, power mirrors, and power windows, as well as you'll notice this little handle. Over time, this generation of BMW, these handles would actually deteriorate and become sticky, so the owner has since fixed that, so something you might want to look for if you're buying this generation X3. Moving into the center, we do get the infotainment display. Now, this is BMW's iDrive system, and although me and iDrive don't necessarily always see eye to eye, it's a little bit better here in 2013 than it was in like 2007 or 2008. So it's modern enough. It doesn't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. However, the next model year is when BMW actually started using Apple CarPlay in 2014. It does the job. It's fine. And it does have a 360 camera, which is very, very nice for 2013. Then we do have our climate control vents, hazard switch, and central locking. And down below, we have our climate controls. We get dual zone climate here in the X3 M Sport. Very nice to see that. We do have a CD player as well as our favorite buttons. And down below, we have a little cubby and cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the X3 M Sport. And unfortunately, it fails, but pretty predictably that it would. You do have a hidden 12-volt outlet by those cup holders, which is very nice, and then we move on to the center stack. So off to the right, this is our selector for that iDrive system. I've always praised BMW for this, and actually modern BMWs don't feel nearly as nice as this joystick does, so I really, really like that, and you have menu and media and things like that. But moving back off to the left, we have our traction control off, sport and eco modes, as well as comfort mode. Shifter in the center with park up at the top, hill descent control, parking sensors on and off, power parking brake, and auto holding brake. Then we do get a center console and the seats. The seats are a nice tan to follow the door cards. They are heated and power. The only issue I've had with the seat is that it just doesn't go down that far. Now, I'm 5'11", and I still fit in the car pretty easily. However, if you're 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", you might start to struggle to fit in here because the seat doesn't go low enough. I'm sure you could find a way to modify it aftermarket, but from the factory, not that low. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of the 2013 BMW that I have locked myself out of. There we go. All right, in the back, and as you can see, we do have this M Sport bag. This is not factory, but my knees are hitting the seat in front of me. When the X3 debuted back in 2003, it was the smallest SUV that BMW made. Now, they later introduced the X2 and X1, which were really just Mini Coopers with BMW bodies on them, so they were a lot smaller, but this was still a compact SUV, and so you see that and feel that sitting here in the back. It's not to say that you don't get good amenities, but it still is semi-compact. I fit, I just might not be that happy about it. We do have 2 climate vents. That's what I meant when I said nice amenities, because a lot of compact SUVs don't do that. You also do get a 12-volt outlet down below, and you do get a fold-down center console with opening cup holders that don't seem to want to open much anymore. And that's okay. You also do get the blinds that you can pull up. You get the lights over shoulder. Very, very nice. Grab handle, and you get to enjoy the nice moonroof, of which that front section opens, but the rear section does not. This is not a feature on the 2025 BMW X3. They actually took this away where it's a completely glass roof. At least you get some capability of opening it up. So that's the back seat space of the X3 M Sport from 2013, but let's take a look at the trunk because it's an SUV. Right around the back of the BMW X3 from 2013, we do have a button here on the key fob to open up the rear trunk. Once we are back here, nothing really too crazy to write home about. We do have a nice WeatherTech floor mat, but you can also pull this up, and you do get a little bit of storage in there, but not a whole ton. You do get some hooks. You do get a 12-volt outlet, which is very, very nice to see. But again, this was a very adequate amount for a compact SUV. At the time, they were still making wagons. They still do have a couple of wagons, but this was far superior in terms of cargo space than any of the wagons that they were producing, which is very nice. Roadside assistance, of course, here, and a button to close it, as well as a locking button for the back of the BMW X3. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I think that this is aged really gracefully. However, I will say I like the next generation of X3, the 3rd generation, just a little bit better. I think it's a little bit proportioned better, but I do like the overall look of this, and it's a solid car. It's not overstated either. It's not trying to make a point. It's not trying to make you feel a certain way. It's a handsome, handsome SUV, and that's really what I want out of the X3. I'm not buying or looking for an X3 to try to make a statement or to show my neighbors that I got stacks. No, it's not really about that. And so I like the exterior look because it's not braggiose, it's just nice. That's what I enjoy. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the BMW X3 M Sport from 2013? Well, I like this car a lot. It drives nice. It can be had for not that expensive here in 2026. It's affordable. The engine is wonderful. The transmission, fantastic. It wins in all of those categories. That's the good thing. I think it also does the subtlety thing really well. As I mentioned with the exterior, and I'll reiterate only a minute or two later, this doesn't look like it's trying to make you feel a certain way. This doesn't get in your face. This car doesn't spit on your lunch and say, oh, look at me, ba, ba, ba. No, this car is just good. It's just great. And it doesn't have to persuade you that it's great. I sort of feel that way with the brand new X3. I feel like all of its tech and gadgets and gizmos is trying to say, hey, look at me, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Don't you see I'm good? Tell me how good I am. This car is just like, here's what I am. Take it or leave it. I hope you take it, but take it or leave it. And that's what I like about this era of BMW. There's a sort of simplicity through complexity, if that makes sense. And that's how I feel about these. And again, they're affordable and they're good. And would I rather be in this or a 2026 Toyota RAV4? I don't know. This drives better. This drives nicer. You're going to be paying a lot less. That's a decision for you to make. But I hope you make the right one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Brianna and Matt for letting me borrow their X3 M Sport for today's video. Again, if you would like to see a comparison between this and the 135i, as well as comparing this to the brand new X3, those videos will be out on my channel at some point and linked at the end of this video when they are available. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.